Hello, greetings, everybody. Greetings, greetings. How are you doing? We are now live and direct, y'all. We are now live and direct. Greetings to all of you. Yes. As you come on in, where my plant posse at? Where my plant posse at? Please drop a comment. What city you representing? What city are you representing? Let me know. Let me know. What city are you all representing? My plant posse. We got folks coming in on Instagram. We got folks coming in on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of you. This is the last night of our Plant-Based Superfoods Masterclass. Melanated Wanderlust from Miami. Yes. Thank you. You're here again. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, yes, yes. I hope everyone's doing well. I see ATL, Lil Burn. Yes. We got Miami in the house, Lil Burn in the house. Yes. I love it. I love it. Let's see. We also got, who else? Who else we got in the house? Who else do we have in the house? Let me move this around a little bit. What other cities we have representing? All right, who we repping? Where my plant posse at? Oh, Durham, North Carolina. Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you, North Carolina. The South is in the building. Super duper heavy. Yes. You know, I'm here in Atlanta, Southwest Atlanta. And we are on our last night of the masterclass. Oh, I'm so sad this is the last night. I love doing these kind of classes. This is wonderful. You learn so much and we get to share in community. And I love it. I love it. So as you all come in, what we're going to do, we're actually going to, if you haven't registered, I want you to register. And the reason why I want you to register is because we're going to actually pull these videos down. And so if you want to get access to the videos, we did a recipe last night, you want to get any of those things, then you definitely want to register. And just put your name in the registration link. I'm going to actually drop that link for you so that you can get the little goodies. And then what we're also going to give you guys is a little list of all the superfoods that we covered. Just some general information about them, and then also some ways that you can actually grab those. Okay, so I am going to one of my team members should be on here, should be on Instagram, and she'll give you guys the link so that you guys can register. We're going to give you some other links for you to stay connected later on tonight. But if you have not registered, just grab that link and just go and register so that you can get, or just, pin it for later so that you can get the replays, you can get the recipe that we did, and then you can also get just sort of a little fact sheet that we're going to provide of these superfoods. All right, so we are going to go on ahead and get started. So once again, if you're just coming on, this is day 3 of our Plant-Based Superfood Masterclass. We've had such a great time, a lot of energy, a lot of good information, and then also just a lot of amazing engagement from you all. And so we want to jump in and we want to, just kind of start off and asking, if you guys were able to, I didn't see anybody post, so that's okay, but were you all able to utilize any of the superfoods? Were you able to grab some either from your cabinet or grab some today, sometime at all before this masterclass? Were you able to at least to get one of them? Some people actually do an audit of their kitchen and they're like, wait a minute, I actually have a few of these and I didn't realize how potent and powerful some of these things are, and they're right in my house. So I'm just curious, were you able to put your hand on one of these? superfoods? If you were, awesome. I would love to hear, if you found one, and if you weren't, then that's okay. I want you to definitely, you know, do your best to source these so that you can really start shifting your life and getting these really great nutrients into your body. All right, so we are going to talk about the last four. All right, and I'm gonna. It's a caveat, right? It's a caveat because there's one of them that's on the list, but it's not plant-based. Okay, and so I actually added in one of my own, and so I'll share that with you later. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember what were the six that we talked about. Could you all list the six for me? What were the six superfoods that we talked about thus far? Let me know. What do you think? Yes, aloe vera. Aloe vera. I've eaten skin and okay, good. So aloe vera. Let's see. Melanated Wanderlust said that she drank some coconut water, but it was canned, so it doesn't count. And then Yolanda, she says aloe vera. I've eaten and skin and hair. Okay, good. Anyone else? Someone purchased organic goji berries and raw cacao. Actually, I'm going to move this over so I can see some of my comments because it's coming in, but I can't see them. Yeah, this is so much better. Okay, great. So I have Liberated Sweetie. She says cacao and coconut water. Excellent. I purchased the organic goji berries and raw cacao nibs. Wonderful. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Excellent, excellent. So that said, thank you all for sharing the ones that you've tried or that you've had in the last 24 hours. That said, what are all of them? What were the six that we've talked about up to this point? What were our six superfoods up to this point? All right, goji berries, aloe vera, AFA blue algae. Good. That's three. Maca. Yep. Aloe vera, coconut. Yes. And yep. You guys got them all. I think that's all of them, right? That's all of them. Yes. So you guys are doing it. I'm so proud of y'all. That's it. So we basically have goji berries, the goji berries, right? We have maca. We have coconut. We have aloe. We have all these people trying to call me right now. So I apologize. So we said goji berries, aloe, maca, aloe vera, algae, yes, AFA algae, coconut, and yes, so we have Melanated Wanderlust helping me out here. Goji berries, cacao, maca, aloe vera, coconut, and algae, blue-green algae. Yes, so those are all of the six that we've talked about. All right, so the next few that we're going to talk about will feel like they're similar, but they're actually different, all right? Some of them will feel like they're similar, but they're different, all right? So the first one that I want to talk about tonight is marine phytoplankton. Marine phytoplankton. And if someone wants to drop that in the comments for me, my assistant, marine phytoplankton, that would be great. Marine phytoplankton, that C that I just put in there should be an N. All right, marine phytoplankton. So I want to just remind you why this is so important. Why are people trying to source superfoods? Why is that so important? So we kind of mentioned it the first night. We talked a little bit about how our soils are becoming more and more depleted because of overproduction of agriculture. So we talked about that. We also talked about just how our landscape, our environmental landscape is changing. And so even though you're eating fruits and vegetables, you're thinking that you're doing the right thing. The reality is, unfortunately, some of the foods, many of the foods that we're eating that are fruits and vegetables, they really aren't nutritionally dense. And so that's why we're even having this conversation around superfoods, because at the end of the day, with all that we're dealing with in 2021, with all of these bacterial infections, we have people who are getting antibiotics and they're not working. We're getting viruses that are like super viruses. People are dying, right? It is critical now more than ever to boost your immune system and really take your nutrition to the next level. And so sometimes it's just not going to cut it the foods that you're eating. It's just not going to cut it. You might say, well, I had a salad. I've been eating good. But when we actually really break down what you're eating in your fruits and vegetables, at the end of the day, it's probably not giving you everything that you need. And so that's why we're having this conversation around superfoods, because we want foods that are nutritionally dense that we can get in like one shot, and that's going to give us the best bang for our buck, right? Sometimes they're a little bit on the pricey side, but you don't have to have all of these different things to eat. You can just consume a few of those superfoods and that's it. You're good to go, right? And so with that, everyone, when we think about folks who are in this health and wellness field, who understand what's going on, everyone is looking to source high quality, nutritionally dense foods so that they can stay strong and they can stay fortified and they can thrive. So that's what this is all about, all right? Our planet is changing and we need to find some other sources of plant-based foods that are still available to us in large quantities that are going to give us what we need nutritionally, all right? And so these superfoods are basically helping us to do that. So the first superfood is our marine phytoplankton. And marine phytoplankton is actually a microalgae, okay? It's a microalgae. So last night we talked about a blue-green algae. We talked about the AFA, right? This one's a little bit different because it is a microalgae. It's a unicellular algae, all right? And so I want you to kind of think about this. Like, where would I find a unicellular algae that I can consume? Well, in the ocean, you have marine phytoplankton. So if you think about what fish and marine life are eating, when they're grazing on the surface of the ocean floor, some of these fish, these marine life, they're actually grazing on phytoplankton, all right? There are different species of phytoplankton that they're consuming. We can't have all of that phytoplankton because some of them, they're not good for human consumption. But phytoplankton, marine phytoplankton, is super nutritious. It actually, some interesting facts about it, it comprises of 1/4 of the vegetative life, of plant life. That's a lot. It's 1/4 of all vegetative plant life. And because of its structure, it's a unicellular algae. It's really like the building, the start, right? The building, the foundation of oceanic food. So literally everything consumes it or is consumed by something that's consumed it. And it just has so many nutrients, y'all. So you have your phytoplankton that has essential fatty acids, amino acids, enzymes, vitamins, omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, trace minerals. And the other thing that's really great about this particular phytoplankton is that it is bioavailable. So does anyone know what that means when we say bioavailability? So I'm going to actually put it here in the comments, bioavailability. And my team member on Instagram, she can actually put that in there as well. Bioavailability. What does that mean? Does anyone know? What does bioavailability mean? This is really important when we're thinking about the foods that we're eating. Oh my gosh, all these people are calling me today. Why? Gosh, I'm getting all these calls today. What is bioavailability? What does that actually mean? What does that mean? What does bioavailability mean? What do you think? What does it mean? Tell me what you think. I'm going to give you guys a minute to think about it. What does bioavailability mean? Nutrients can be absorbed directly by the body. Yep, absolutely. So when we talk about this marine phytoplankton, actually it's 100% bioavailable. So literally our body can absorb all the nutrients of that. That's pretty huge. Because when you think about some of the foods and some of the issues that people have, it's not all available, in regards to some of the cruciferous vegetables that people might eat. It's good, it's fibrous, but that doesn't mean that your body likes it. So this phytoplankton, your brain actually knows, it recognizes that it's food. And because your brain recognizes that it's food, it does what it needs to do without, any issues in the body. So that marine phytoplankton is powerful. Also, they're not really necessarily going in the ocean and finding phytoplankton like that, not anymore because of all of the pollution that's happening in the ocean. What they're doing is they're actually getting cultures of the phytoplankton and they're growing them in these sort of bioreactor, just sort of these spaces where they can control the environment of the phytoplankton and make sure that the things that is producing from the phytoplankton, all of those nutrients are pure. So it's just like, sea salt. You want to be careful the kind of salt that you're buying, because if you're getting things like sea salt, where they're drawing water from the ocean or different parts of the sea, and then drying it, then some of the toxins, the pollution that's inside of those seas are going to get into your sea salt. It's the same thing with some of these sea vegetables that they're harvesting. You have to be very careful where you buy these things, because you do not want to get the pollution and the toxins inside of your food, your superfood, based on how it's sourced. So you're finding that there's a lot of European countries that are actually producing this, and they are, being very careful how they harvest this phytoplankton so that they're giving you a really good product. All right, so I want you to also know that there's a difference between a microalgae and a macroalgae. So last night when we talked about AFA, AFA is a macroalgae. It's a multicellular algae. And what we're talking about today is a unicellular algae. It's actually very microscopic, right? So when you think of a macroalgae like the AFA that we talked about, those things you can actually physically see it with the eyes, right? But with microalgae, they're microorganisms and you cannot see them with the eye, all right? Also, once again, this is considered to be part of like the phytoplankton. It's not a seaweed, right? So when you think of seaweed is something physical. It's a sea vegetable that you can actually see, but the phytoplankton, you can't see it. But it's sort of, I would say that if you actually look from, you might even see some visuals from like Google Space or anything like that. You can see some greenish colored substances that are over some of the seas. They're blue-green. That's what it looks like, right? But when you actually get to it, it's actually very microscopic and you can't really see it. So a lot of the places where this phytoplankton lives is in the sea, it's in rivers, it's in ponds, and in lakes. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that phytoplankton is actually good for, which you guys might be interested in. It's really good for your skin, right? Super good for the skin. It also is super helpful for your glucose levels, all right? It's going to support cardiovascular health. And again, and we'll have a conversation about the things that you're selecting food-wise that's going to support whatever it is that you are dealing with. It boosts the immune system. And one of the powerhouses of the phytoplankton is that it actually helps with your DNA, and it is helpful with cellular regeneration. So this is one of the powers of the phytoplankton. It also helps with mental clarity, with depression, with mood. A lot of these algae and a lot of these sort of sea vegetables that we've been talking about are really powerful for helping mood. And so definitely, if you're feeling like you need a boost with mood, you need to just sort of have more just energy, just, you feel sad sometimes, depression symptoms. These are the kinds of foods that you might want to select. And some of you might have seen that I recently started wearing glasses. And I asked my eye doctor, I was like, man, well, what should I be eating now? Because, I'm thinking about these kinds of things. And she mentioned all of the vegetables like kale and Brussels sprouts and those kinds of things. But sea vegetables like phytoplankton are super helpful for eye health, right? It has beta carotene in them, high levels of beta carotene, which is going to support eye health and support getting your vision better. It's going to also support healthy joints. All right. When we think about inflammation, it's an anti-inflammatory. So it's going to support healthy joints. And then this particular sea vegetable also aids in detoxifying the liver. We could have another masterclass on liver support, but you really want to take care of your liver. And if you can use any of these superfoods to support your liver and cleansing the liver, this is one of them. All right. Once again, it has all of these amazing trace minerals, and it's going to just be really excellent for you in detoxifying the body in general, not just the liver, but your body overall. So some people are wondering, well, okay, that sounds a lot like spirulina. So spirulina is actually our second superfood for tonight, but it's different, right? So spirulina, in a lot of ways, are very much similar to AFA, right? But spirulina is actually not an algae. People think that it's an algae, but it's not. Spirulina is not an algae. Does anyone know? I'm just curious. Does anyone know what spirulina actually is? People think that it's an algae, but it's not. Does anyone know what it is? It's not an algae. Do you know? Does anyone know? And I'm going to actually type this, spirulina. So this is our second superfood, spirulina. It's actually not an algae. People think it is. They've always thought it was, but it's really not. All right. So spirulina is actually a single cell microscopic organism. It's actually called a cytobacteria or cyanobacteria. And the name of it is called an arthrospira. So let me write that for you. It's an arthrospira. All right. And it's just like in terms of a lot of the health benefits, all of these things that you are having, in some respects, you can choose one over the other. You don't need to have all of the same thing. All right, so somebody actually posted, Lusadi did this post, which is wonderful. Spirulina is a biomass of cyanobacteria. Yes, absolutely. The three species of it. That's right. It's a Arthrospira. That's right. And it is super, 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 super healthy for you. All right, so is it what? A cyanobacteria? Who knew? Yes, so it's a form of a bacteria. Yes, it is in the family of bacteria. But it's kind of like if you think about probiotics, probiotics are healthy bacteria, right? That we use to help keep our gut healthy, right? Spirulina is same kind of thing. We're using spirulina to support so many things, and gut health is actually one of them, all right? So what are some of the things that spirulina has? So we know it's a superfood. It's high in protein, super, super, super high in protein. It's a complex carbohydrate. It has complex lipids, has a ton of chlorophyll, high in B12, and actually it has a lot of beta carotene as well, all right? And your body converts beta carotene to vitamin A. It also has, it has some properties that are going to support you with your gut health. And some of those properties that are going to support you with your gut health include, hold on, let me get my notes here. It's going to actually get you regular, you guys. And then also, if you are having issues with candida, candida is actually a bacteria that is an overproduction of candida that's in the gut, and it comes along when we're eating too much sugar. So it's going to help to regulate that. It's also going to support your kidneys. It's also going to support your urinary tract. so that you are, having no problems with, going to the bathroom or no infections building up there. So spirulina is just really, really dope. Very, very powerful. Let me see if we have any. Yes. So what is an arthrospira? An arthrospira is actually the name, the classification of spirulina. So that's the question. What is an arthrospira? Arthrospira is actually the category that spirulina would be in. It is not a blue-green algae as many people thought. How you spell the other superfood? All right, so the other way we spell the superfood is, and I can tell you very quickly because I can't type it on Instagram. So the first one, marine, M-A-R-I-N-E, marine phytoplankton. That was the first one. Marine phytoplankton. And phyto is PHYTOPLAKTON. Yep. So marine phytoplankton, that was the first one for today. Marine phytoplankton. Again, it is a microalgae. It's actually grown in salt water. And it's a unicellular, yes. So you have it, but you forgot the E on marine. You forgot the E on marine, Miss Margot. So like marine life, M-A-R-I-N-E. So it's a microalgae, and it's grown in salt water. And y'all, this one is very, very nice. So let me go back real quick to the phytoplankton, since some people have been asking about it. This is not a bottle of it. This is not a bottle of it. That's not what this is. But usually when you see phytoplankton, you can get it concentrated like this in a dropper. So this is what it would look like, okay? And then you would just drop some of this inside of your water, okay? You would drop some of it inside your water. There are people who actually cultivate the phytoplankton at home. They just work to create that sort of environment where the phytoplankton can produce. And they basically produce it right at home. Just like people make kombucha, there are people who actually harvest and cultivate phytoplankton at home. All right. Yep, you got it. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shay. Thank you so much for that. All right. The second one was spirulina. And if you want to, you can actually type that for my folks on Instagram. So spirulina, S-P-I-R-U-L-I-N-A, spirulina, spirulina, S-U-I, you got it? Yes, S-P-I-R-U-L-I-N-A, spirulina, beautiful. Yep, we got it. All right, so we're back talking about spirulina. Let me actually show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So you could see why people would think that this is a blue-green algae, because it looks blue-green, but it is not. It is not a blue-green algae. It's, as we said, an arthrospira, which is a kind of cyanobacteria. It's in the family of bacteria, okay? It's in the family of bacteria. And like I said before, this is super, super good for digestion. So if you're having some digestive issues, this is something that you might want to consider bringing into the mix. All right? Any questions about that? All right, so somebody says here, phytoplankton, marine phytoplankton, microalgae, single cell organism. Yep, rich in trace minerals, chlorophyll. She says, I love it. Yes, absolutely. Oh, I also mentioned that the phytoplankton is actually really good at producing DHA and EPA. And for those of us on this call who've ever been pregnant or with child, you know that that's one of the things that you're encouraged to eat when you're pregnant. It's like a capsule, DHA and EPA. So these are actually substances that are really good for brain health. And actually that phytoplankton is super high in DHA and EPA, all right? Great antioxidant, ton of vitamins, as we said, just really good stuff. All right, So that's our phytoplankton. We have our spirulina. And now what we want to do is we want to talk a little bit about moringa. Okay, moringa. All right, so moringa. Let me tell you a little bit about moringa. Moringa is actually not on the superfoods list per se, but I think that it is. Moringa is one of those superfoods to me. This is my personal choice for superfood. When you go to the Caribbean, when you go to Africa, moringa is there. Actually, moringa is grown all over the world. It's actually a tree species. And the leaves, and I can actually show you what it looks a little bit like. It looks a little bit like this. Okay, so you guys see this? Let me actually show you the pods. Okay, so let's see if you guys can see it. So it looks a little bit like this. All right, so we got it. So you can actually consume moringa in a few different ways. That's what's kind of interesting about it. So moringa, those are the pods. So those are the actual seeds. We can sprout those and actually make moringa trees from these. And then you can also use it as a powder. So we also have a powder. It's green. It's dried leaves. And you can add it to your smoothies and all of that good stuff, right? You can also, if you have a moringa tree, you can actually just take the leaves from the tree and you can pull the leaves off the tree and literally eat it daily. So when I was in Africa, when was I in Ghana? I was in Ghana 2 years ago for the year of return. And I chose not to get malaria. I chose not to do the malaria pills. What I decided to do was we use some of these superfoods that we're talking about to stay strong on that trip. So daily I would drink coconut water. We talked about how dope coconut water was yesterday. And then we would also eat fresh moringa right off of a moringa tree, because again, moringa trees are everywhere in Ghana. And I'm telling you, I'm not telling you to go do this because this is my choice. This is what I did. But they were absolutely just instrumental in us staying energized, and we were fine. And I was there for 2 weeks, right? So no problems. We were very cautious on where we went, what we did. We made sure that, we had all of our protective gear on so that we weren't getting bit by mosquitoes. We weren't out at night. So there are all of these other things that we need to do when we're choosing to do things naturally, right? And I'm telling you, I was fine, right? So moringa, 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 moringa. People don't talk a lot about moringa, but I absolutely think that it's wonderful. And there are 3 different ways that you can consume it. You can eat the pods or the seeds. You can use the dried powder. Or if you are in a tropical place like Miami, Florida, or somewhere abroad where it's always warm, then you can actually get access to or even grow your own moringa tree, right? And in doing so, you have this medicine every single day. So it's absolutely incredible. So what are some of the things that moringa is good for? Moringa is high in protein, high in protein. It's also wonderful with B6 vitamins, vitamin C, another iron source. So for those of you out there who are anemic, you want to be thinking about, well, what kinds of foods should I be using beyond an iron pill, right? And so this would be one of those things that you can bring in that's going to support you with your iron levels. Vitamins A, vitamin B, it has beta carotene as well. Phosphorus, it has calcium and magnesium. And we talked about the importance of magnesium and relaxing the muscles. That also is going to support you with your bowel movements and kind of moving things out in terms of constipation. You know that calcium is going to be super good for the bones. So, just powerhouse. So those are some of the things that moringa contains. Now, when we talk about what it does for the body, here are a few things that it does. It's going to help with your blood sugar regulation. So for those of you who are on here who might be looking for a solution to help regulate your blood sugar, along with shifting your diet, moringa is something that you might want to consider. It also helps to reduce inflammation in the body. So if you're dealing with arthritis, if you're dealing with any kind of chronic pain, you're going to get that boost from moringa. It also has this active ingredient that really helps with the inflammation. And it's called isothiocyanate. That's isothiocyanate. And this is the main compound that's going to help against inflammation. Okay, y'all? Moringa is also going to help with lowering the cholesterol. So if you are, again, what we want to be mindful of is with any of these things that you are doing, you want to make sure that you are talking to your physician, but you also want to make sure that you're not eating things that are going to counterbalance what it is that you're trying to do. All right. So if you are taking moringa for lowering your cholesterol, but that you haven't fried something, then that's just not going to work, right? It's just not how it works. So you want to shift the way you're eating and how you're thinking about the foods that you're bringing in so that you can support, just healthy cholesterol levels or any of these other things that we mentioned. It also helps with balancing your hormones, all right? So moringa is super good for balancing your hormones. And believe it or not, like maca, this is really good for your sex drive, but it does two things. Moringa does two things. It gives you a high sex drive, but then on the other side of the high sex drive, if you're working to conceive a baby, then this isn't something that you should consume because it actually, for women, it doesn't stimulate you becoming pregnant. It kind of stymies that whole process for women. So you want to make sure that you're mindful, and if you are pregnant, then you don't want to use moringa. It's also antifungal. It's an antiviral. It's going to protect your brain, right? So because it has all of these wonderful amino acids, including tryptophan. When you think about just the mood, serotonin and all of those things, that's like the mood hormone that's going to just help you just feel good, all of that. Moringa is going to help you do that too. This also has calcium and phosphorus, so it's going to keep your bones healthy. It's going to support you if you have asthma, so it helps with your lungs. It helps to support your lungs, the better lung function. And then this is also another one that's super good for digestive health, all right? Again, because of its anti-inflammatory properties. So the other thing that moringa helps to do, y'all, is to detoxify the body. So it pushes heavy metals out of your system. And many of us, believe it or not, we have heavy metals in our system and we just don't know it. If you're using deodorants, a lot of deodorants have aluminum. Toothpaste has aluminum. So you want to be mindful about where you're getting some of these things, these metal toxicities. And so taking things like moringa, using herbs like cilantro when you're eating helps to push those toxins out of the body. It also helps, this one also helps with the liver, and it also helps with the kidneys. And the other big thing that moringa does, y'all, which is really nice, is it helps to suppress cancer cells. So it's actually been documented through research that moringa has been able to just decrease the growth of various cancer cells in certain patients who were dealing with, whatever cancer they were dealing with. And then finally, it protects your liver. This one also helps to protect the liver. And if there are some compromises with the liver, it basically helps to repair the liver very quickly. So, one of the things that I would say is, when you're thinking about just any of these things, one of the parts of the body, we should always be thinking about different parts of our body. But one of the things that we should really be thinking about is our liver. All right. The liver filters all of these different things that are coming into the body. It's one of our filtering systems. And as a result, we want to make sure that we're choosing foods that are going to support our healthy liver. If you're on medication, some of us are, then there's a buildup of that medication in our system. And so when we are detoxing and cleansing, we want to make sure that we are choosing things that are going to just help flush some of those extra toxicities from the pharmaceuticals that we're using out of the liver. And moringa is actually one of them that's going to help to do that. Okay? Any questions about moringa? Any questions about moringa? So moringa, like I said to you all, is grown in very hot climates. It does not survive in the cold. So if you have a place that has a change of season, it's not going to make it unless you have some sort of plant, moringa plant, that you're able to bring into a warm environment. But if you live in a place where it's always warm, you better be growing some moringa because it's absolutely incredible for that purpose. All right. So our last superfood of the evening, y'all. Dun, da, da, da. Do you know what it is? Dun, da, 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 da. Hemp seeds. Hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are the last superfood. So you might even hear people call them hemp hearts. But hemp seeds, hemp hearts, the hemp seed is the actual, it's like an unhulled hemp heart. All right. Yes, that's the drum roll. Hemp. So this one's a little controversial. This superfood is a little controversial. And the reason why it's controversial is because of its source. Does anyone know where hemp comes from? What plant it comes from? Anybody? I know there's some folks out here who knows. What does hemp come from? Anybody? Where does hemp seeds come from? Yeah. Yes, so cannabis. Yeah, so it comes from the cannabis species. It's a plant species called cannabis. Actually, marijuana and hemp come from the same plant species, which is cannabis. But they actually take on different effects in the plants, right? Someone put Thank you for spelling marijuana like that. That's super cute. That's funny. Marijuana, Marawana. That's super cute. All right, so hemp seeds and marijuana come from the same plant species called cannabis. But even though they come from that species, when you talk about THC, which is the chemical that's in marijuana that gets people kind of high, and CBD, you're going to see that in marijuana, it actually has high levels of THC in there. But with hemp, it doesn't. It actually has trace amounts in them. Now, the hemp seed or the hemp heart that we're talking about, when the actual plant is grown, the hemp plant is grown, you might find more THC in the plant, in the leaves, but in the seed, there's not a lot in there, all right? So that's actually what makes it okay, right? So if you are concerned about using hemp seeds or hemp hearts, please don't. It's kind of like poppy seeds, right? There's traces of opioids in poppy seeds, but not a significant amount to make a difference. So hemp hearts or hemp seeds are super, super, super good for protein. They're super good for protein. All right, before I continue, we have it. I put hemp seeds in my cookies and I use it to make milk. Yes, absolutely. You can make hemp milk with the hemp seeds. So actually, let me show this to you. This is what it looks like. So we keep these in the house. Show and tell. So we got hemp seeds. So these are the actual seeds. They've been hulled. And if they were hemp, actually, these are the hemp hearts. The hemp seeds would be if they were unhulled. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay, so would you imagine 3 tablespoons of this? 3 tablespoons of this is equivalent to about 10 grams of complete protein. That's pretty powerful. 10 grams of complete protein by 3 tablespoons of hemp. So it's really, really good for like if you're working out all of those things, and you're looking for a plant protein source, this is it. All right. It also supports brain and heart health. It lowers your triglyceride levels. So if you, again, are looking for a plant-based solution that's going to support lowering your cholesterol, this is one. Again, reduces inflammation in the body. And another big one is that it supports healthy immune system, right? Hemp also is high in magnesium, in zinc, phosphorus, it's high in fiber, and it's low in carbs, all right? So one of the things that I want to talk about, so that's our last superfood. Here's what I want to think about. I want you to think about this. And you don't have to comment on this. If you want to, great. But the question that I have is, what are you healing from? What are you healing from? And again, you can drop it in the comments if you want. But if you don't, you want to keep it private, no problem. What are you healing from? All right, what are you healing from? Everybody is healing from something. Everybody is working on something. Some of the things that we're working on is in the spiritual realm, the mental realm. Many of the cases of people who are dealing with physical issues, it's in the physical realm. High blood pressure, diabetes, inflammation or arthritis, depression, anxiety. Yes, so all of these things, right? What are you healing from? And you can be honest. Some people say eczema. All right. So with that said, and if you want to kind of keep it private and you want to chat with me privately about it, you can always schedule some time and we can do it, right? Yes. So you guys are just sharing. Thank you so much for what you're sharing. So here's how I want you guys to think about this. So we just went through 10 superfoods that can help with many of the things that you all talked about. Many of the things that y'all talked about. And so what I want you to think about is, how are you showing up with your food? Are you eating to live, or are you living to eat? How are you showing up with your food? All right? How are you showing up? And you got to answer that question for yourself, right? So you know what you're healing from. We've identified that, right? And then based on the thing that we're healing from, we now can make some real intentional, conscious decisions about the foods that we're selecting that are going to help in the healing process of whatever it is that you said. So with that, what do I mean by that? All right, so here's an example of what I mean by that. If I named diabetes as something that I'm healing from, and I'm looking at my food, I'm looking at my sleep, because if you're not sleeping properly, all of those things are going to affect your blood sugar levels. It just does. But I am not going to eat rice all the time. I am not going to eat bread all the time. I might just have to eliminate that from my diet altogether if that's something I'm healing from. If I'm healing from diabetes and I know, oh my goodness, I can bring spirulina into my diet. I could bring moringa into my diet because the research shows that it helps to lower blood sugar levels. Then I can make certain drinks or incorporate it in some of the foods that I eat so that I have these extra medicines, tools that I can access daily to help in that process. All right. So if you're living to eat, then you aren't really thinking about that. You are, I want to eat because it tastes good. I'm eating because I want to be at the next place. Or, this new restaurant opened up. That's eating, that's living to eat, right? But eating to live is different. It's that conscious, mindful eating that we're talking about, where you are being really intentional about some of the foods that you're selecting, because you know that those things are medicines. There's that daily medicine, that food medicine, that plant medicine that's going to support you on that healing journey that you're on. All right, let's look at some of your comments. Yeah, this posted on a list. Yes. All right. So Some people are dealing with stress. They're dealing with anxiety. They're dealing with abuse. Yes, they're dealing with diabetes, eczema, borderline high blood pressure. Yes. Excellent. Thank you so much for those of you who are sharing this, because I know it's deeply personal. And I'm so glad that you are sharing what's up with you. And what I'm going to say to you is you can work towards those things becoming better by shifting a lot of the things in your life. So it's not just your food. We are talking about foods that we can definitely incorporate to support us on this healing journey. But then with like the anxiety and the stress, those kinds of things do impact high blood pressure. They do impact your diabetes. They do impact how your depressive state. You know, are you meditating? Are you doing your self audit around your spiritual realm, your mental realm? How are you feeling today? Are you doing stretching? Are you getting fresh air? Are you journaling? Are you giving thanks? Are you really practicing gratitude? All of those things are important. So I know I talk a lot about the food. I talk a lot about food because I'm a plant-based chef, I'm an educator. But really, y'all, this is the lifestyle medicine that I talk about. Lifestyle medicine is not just food. Lifestyle medicine is everything. It's all of those areas of our life that we really need to audit to see why these things are coming up. And I have my share of challenges too. I'm, in a high stress environment. I'm a mother, entrepreneur, professor, all of those things. And I have hypertension. And I have to really do self audits and say, okay, what do I need to release? What do I need to let go of so that, I don't feel the way I'm feeling right now? Coming back to school during this time with COVID, I was very stressed about it. I was nervous. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? All these people, how am I going to handle that? Even though you feel like you're not stressing about it, your mind, the worry, the little subtle worry that you're holding on to impacts you in the physical realm, impacts you on the spiritual realm, impacts you on the mental realm. And so you have to be honest with yourself. What's going on in your life? What's happening in your life so that you can really just shift things and really just do the work of healing. All right. And so when I tell you, I want you to really think about all of the foods that we've talked about and how you can really now start to move things around so that you can bring more of those things into your life. And not just the foods, but then also what other shifts and changes you can make so that you can begin to shift some of these diseases that we're talking about, because we're all dealing with something. We're all healing from something. The other thing I want to talk about in regards to healing is a journey. Healing is a journey, right? It's not a cure. It's something that you're working through every day. It's something that you're thinking about every day. And the things that we need to be thinking about every day is our health. The thing that we need to be thinking about every day is the foods that we're putting in our mouth. And the simple thing of just saying, is this serving me well? Is this serving me well? And if it's not, do I like the way I feel after I eat this thing? Just having a pausing moment where you're really reflecting on what you're doing. If I stay up late grading all these papers and I don't get my rest, well, I like how I feel in the morning. You've done it before. You know what it does. So choose what? Are you going to choose to stay up? Oh, I got to get these papers done. Or do you choose the sleep? Because if you don't choose the sleep, then your blood pressure is going to be up. Your blood sugar might be up. You might wake up stressed. You might wake up feeling a little bit depressed, right? All of these things are just constant. And so they're conscious decisions, they're mindful decisions that we need to be thinking about for our wellness. And so I want you guys to consider that. If you are dealing with something and you don't want to put it here and you need some support with that, man, let's talk about it. I'll give you the link and we could schedule some time and you can talk with me about it. Any questions? We're getting close. Any questions? Let me see if there's any comments here. Yeah, someone says I'm eating to live, really need to do better with my diet. Yep. Gratitude is key. I love how you said lifestyle medicine. Yep. If you register, you will get this list. That's right. So my team member here, she's sharing the link. If you want to get all of the list, the notes of everything that we talked about tonight, you can register at the link that we sent out earlier and you will get it. All right. So you said, oh, goodness. So I have someone here saying any gifts for tonight. Look at this person. Who is, my goodness. Yes, we do have a couple of gifts tonight. We got it. We got one good gift tonight. Okay. I'll talk about that in a second. All right. So someone else is using some of those superfoods, but need to do more. Yeah. Y'all, you can use these superfoods every day. Every day. And I'll tell you, I feel empowered. I feel empowered when I see these things and I know that we have access to them. There are people who don't have access to not even one of these superfoods. Even if you brought one in every day, that's okay. You know, that's fine. But more than likely, you have more than one at your disposal. You can get access to it. Even if you're not close to a farmer's market, even if you're not close to a natural foods market, you can actually just go online and you can get this stuff. I will always say that anytime you're getting things like superfoods, what you really want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting non-GMO, organic superfoods, right? Because that's really going to be where the quality is. These kinds of things, you want to make sure that you're getting the best quality because you need a little bit and it goes very, very far in the body. All right, Rhonda says, the blue algae, is it better to buy frozen or powder form? And I'm buying your book. Okay, thank you, Rhonda. So I actually sell the blue algae, and we can actually give you the link to that. The blue algae, the one that I sell, it has two different forms, right? So you have the spirulina, which is the powder, and then you also have the frozen kind. The reason why it's sold frozen is because it's a living food. And so because of that, when I get it, or if you were to buy it, what you would do is you would get it frozen. And then you would just keep it in your refrigerator. You would thaw it out when you need it. And then you would just kind of just, use it. You have like 7 to 10 days before you can't use it anymore. All right. So I actually dropped the link for the E3 Live Superfood here. And then my team member, Shay, if you can actually give them the link to the E3 Live Superfoods, that would be great so that they can actually take a look at those. So we do sell the frozen, and then we also sell the spirulina, all right, which is in the powdered form. And as I think I showed you, the spirulina, typically you're going to find it in this powdered form, all right? Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you, Zita. Thank you. She says, I feel empowered hearing you discuss superfoods. All right, so I want to encourage all of you guys for something. If you are on this call and you are doing you're doing your thing. I see Zita, the coach, working out. She doing her thing, all happy. She doing it, right? And there are folks, everyone's at different places. Some people are all in. They're working out. They're eating good. They're eating clean. Excellent. If you are someone who is transitioning and you're still trying to figure things out, you're still sneaking, you know who you are. You sneaking. You kind of getting that stuff in that you're not supposed to be eating. You know who you are. If you're at any phase of this, it's okay. No judgments. But what I want to encourage all of y'all to do is to commit to seasonal cleansing. Seasonal cleansing. All right. So even if you are not choosing to cleanse, detox every month, you can actually do a quick detox daily by drinking water with lemon, right? Or just green teas. You could do that. If you want to get like a really good flush out once every 3 months, I would love for all you to consider the palate reset. So we're going to actually give you the link for that. The palate reset is a cleanse that I started to curate. And the reason why I started curating this cleanse was because of the conversations I started having with people. All right. The palate reset was created because many of the people that I service with cooking, they just were nervous that the foods that were plant-based would not taste as good as the foods that they were used to that were not necessarily plant-based, that were processed. And I find that when people are transitioning or just working to be better, eat cleaner, no matter what, you might say, I'm going to start working out come September 1st. It's really good to just do a reset and kind of clear everything out so that you have a good start. So we started doing the palate reset. We did in the summer, we did 3 cohorts in the summer, and it's seasonal. So it was a summer menu. And so now what we're going to be doing is the palate reset fall. And it's going to be a fall menu because the foods that you eat every season looks different. The palate reset that we're going to have, that we're going to start on September 20th to the 29th, 10 days, guided cleanse. We're going to be using some of the superfoods that we talked about tonight, or really over the last 3 days. So if you want to get that experience with me, you want to do something, you're not sure, you want some support, you want some guidance, you want to try the palate reset. Now, for some of you who are like, man, I'm good at cleansing, I know what to do, right? We have an option on this link where you can just get the ebook from Summer and that just be it. It has everything in it. It has all of the recipes. It also has the guide. It has the shopping list. Everything's inside of that ebook. And so that's just one price. It won't be at all, no guidance, the group, none of those things if that's not what you need. Some people are solo. But then if you're one of those folks that's like, look, I really want to do this with community. I really want support. I really want to get my hands held. I want to connect. Then I want you all to join us for the fall. We have 2 dates. We have September 20th to the 29th. And then we have October 11th to October 11th to the 20th. So you have 2 options to jump in. We have our early bird special. It's going to end August 31st, and then the price goes up. All right. So I really, really, really want you guys to consider joining me on the palate reset. It was absolutely phenomenal. We have some people who are on this call right now, on this live, who participated, and just transformation. People shifted. And so if you're ready for that shift, if you're ready to do this, let's go. Let's do it. My husband's also adding in Essential Meals to Go. Yes, Essential Meals to Go is my meal prep. So if you're interested in meal prep and you're local to Atlanta, or if you're nationwide and you want me to ship food to you, we do that too. So, the goal of Inyansipo Wellness Institute, y'all, is to support people at different levels on their journey. Period, right? So if you need cleansing, we got you. If you need coaching, culinary, we got the culinary program. We got you there. If you need to, have meals prepared for you, we got you. And then we have our community. So if you also want to be a part of the community, you guys can actually DM me and we can tell you a little bit more about that. But we have our community where you can get access to not just all of the content that we talked about tonight, because this is coming down. This ain't going to stay out there forever. But you'll also get access to unique content just for you all on the community. All right. So we want to make sure that we are supporting folks on this journey to healing, health, and wellness. Make sure that if you are interested in any of the things that we've talked about, we've dropped some links for you, but then you can also send us an email, bewell@chefbee.com. And that will, you can ask whatever you want to ask, because we know that this is a lot of information. All right, so I see some comments. My girl Omienka is here. Transformational. Thank you. Yes. Any other questions? Any other comments? Yeah, I want y'all to know that, this work is a labor of love. I love it. I absolutely love working with folks. and supporting folks. And, as an educator, I know that because I see it every day. Folks who are working, who are teachers, who are professors, we're not necessarily taking care of ourselves because we're trying to get to the next thing. We're trying to grade the papers. We're trying to prepare for class. So I know that that's a highly stressful environment, and that's just one occupation. Just imagine the other occupations out there that are super, super stressful. And as a result of that, people are compromising how they take care of themselves because they're moving to quick meals, they're not sleeping properly, they're not working out, they're not stretching, they're not doing the things that they need to do. They're taking care of everything else but themselves. And so my main goal and my main purpose in this work, in this ministry, is to let you know that you matter. You got to remember that you matter and that you are front and center of all of this. And if you are not good, if you're not well, then you can't really help anyone else be well. That's just the bottom line. So, with all of these things that we're doing, we just want you to know that you matter. Self care is absolutely important. And, I absolutely care about all of you all that come to me, that I work with, and I really feel you. I feel you. I'm so grateful that you guys gave me the opportunity to talk to you for these last 3 days. I'm grateful to all of you who actually came and showed up every day and participated. Thank you so much for all of your love and all of your support, really. Someone says here, I shared the link with my sis yesterday. She said it was good info and wanted to go buy herself a young coconut. Yes, absolutely. Now, let me say something about that young coconut. If you have a coconut, you probably need to get a machete, or we call it a cutlass. You want to get a long knife. You could probably get it from one of those Caribbean markets. And it's like a heavy knife that can actually withstand you cutting open the coconut because, we don't usually have those kind of knives around. And that's one of the things that's hindering us from eating coconuts daily. And we just kind of go to the grocery store and get them in the box. But I don't know if you know this, but the coconut is probably one of the most highly pasteurized drinks in America here. All right. So as soon as coconuts come into the United States, many of the coconuts, they pasteurize them. So they're actually killing a lot of the nutrients in the coconut. So the best way to get coconut, I see Mama Pierre on here. She said, I had a lot of coconut water in Guyana. Absolutely. And coconut meat used to be as part of my water intake daily. Yep, it's electric food. We talked about that yesterday. Excellent. And then Zeta Coach, come on, true through with the true health and wellness facts. Yes, y'all. So look, I am not perfect. I'm on this journey just like you all. I have flaws. There are things that I'm working on too, but I'm always asking myself, okay, what do I need to shift? What do I need to work on? What do I need to audit? And in that, I think about those things and I work to make shifts all the time. Am I being nice? Am I being positive? Because all of those things affect your health, right? Can I be nicer? Can I stop worrying? Can I drink more water? You can ask those questions to yourself every day. Did I drink enough water today? Did I take my medicine today? Did I eat enough healthy foods today? Did I relax today? Did I rest today? Did I sit still today? Man, all of those things are medicines. Those are all lifestyle medicine tools. So when you ever see me say lifestyle medicine, that's what we're talking about. The lifestyle medicine is you and how you're showing up in your life. And we all have to take a look at how we're showing up in our life so that we can make things better. And y'all, just one day at a time, just choose to shift one thing every day and commit to it. And as you commit to those things, you're going to see that more things will shift. So just commit to one thing because, again, we got to exercise grace in ourselves, right? We can't be all hard on ourselves and, I need to do this because now you're creating stress and worry again. No, just one thing that you're going to actually work through and that you're going to heal from. And as you start healing and working through that one thing, you'll find that it's going to be easier to bring new things in that you need to work on as well. So it's a process. And in that process, we need people to help us do that work. We cannot do this work by ourselves. We're not meant to do this work by ourselves. As melanated people, we cannot. That's not in our framing to do any of this stuff by ourselves. There is an old African proverb that says, I am because we are, right? I am because we are. And I truly believe that. I am because we are. We are community. And that's what I'm all about. So I'm going to ask if you have any other questions. And then I'm going to talk about the little prize that I'm going to give away before we go. I'm gonna see if y'all been listening. Okay, I'm gonna see if y'all been listening. All right, yes. So Melanoid Breast Milk says because we are. Yes. All right. So tonight I am going to give away the Palette Reset ebook, the Summer Cleanse. So you guys are gonna get the Palette Reset ebook. So this is what I want you to be able to answer for me. The first person that can do this will get the Palette Reset ebook. All right. Again, that ebook has all of the recipes for a 10-day cleanse. It also has your shopping list. It has all the herbs that you would need for the cleanse. And it also has the guide that just all of the different daily practices and rituals that you need to do for the 3-day or for the 10 days. It's all inside of the e-guide. All right. So I'm so sorry I came so late. No problem. If you actually go to the link, scroll up, you can actually, if you haven't registered, just register so you can get the replay. All right. So this is the question. All right, so the first thing that I want you all to tell me, again, I want whatever you do, whoever this person is, don't just give me one or the other. I want you to give me all of my answers all in one post. The first person to do this will actually get the prize, okay? So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to list all 10 superfoods. That's the first thing. All 10 superfoods. That's number one. Number two, I want you to tell me for one of the superfoods that starts with an S, one of the superfoods that starts with an S, it's not this, but it's what? The one that starts with an S, it's not this, but it's what? What's the correct name for it? All right. It's not this, but it's what? So I want you to give me all 10 superfoods. And then the one that starts with an S, we say that people think it's one thing, but it's actually this other name. What is that other name? And the name that it is starts with an A. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. So let's see who can say it, who can type it the fastest. So I need all 10 superfoods that we've talked about over the last 3 days. And the one that starts with an S, I want you to tell me what the actual correct sort of species it is. Because people thought it was one thing, but it's actually not that thing. It starts with an A, the thing that it is. What is that thing that it is? Let's see if y'all can get it. Oh, let's see. Let's see who gets that one. Ah! Guys, I just made that up on the fly, all right? So you're telling me all 10 superfoods. I need that. And then the one that started with an S, we said that people think that it's this, but it's not. It's this. And that thing that it is starts with an A. All right. All right. So I'm looking for all my answers in one shot. I don't want pieces of it. I want the whole shamboogie. I want the whole thing. Give me all my answers. So all of my answers. All right. I see you, Melanated Wanderlust, but you didn't give me all my answers. You only gave me one thing. All right. Come on, y'all. I want someone to win this tonight. So you're giving me all 10 superfoods, and you're also the one that started with an S. We talked about what people think it is, but it's actually not that thing. All right, let's see. Ooh. 1, 2, let me see. She got her. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Pierre, you got it. You got it, Pierre. You got it. All right. I'm actually going to give, because Pierre actually was in the cleanse. So I'm giving it to Alicia Carter, because Alicia Carter, right after Pierre posted that, Alicia Carter posted something else. So what I'm going to do for you, Pierre, because you did that so lovely, I am going to give you a bottle of E3 Live. All right. Yes. All right. So Alicia, you're going to get the ebook. You're going to get the Palette Reset ebook. So please DM me your address. I'm going to send it to you, your email address. We're going to send it to you. And then Pierre, we're going to get you a bottle of E3 Live. All right. Let's see. I have some other folks who are posting, but you guys were late. You late. I am so sorry, but we got our winner. So let's give a hand to our winner. Yes. Excellent. So the answer was, of course, we talked about hemp seeds. We talked about moringa, spirulina. We talked about marine phytoplankton. We talked about coconut, AFA blue algae, maca, aloe vera, goji berries, cacao. And we said spirulina is not an algae, right? It is an arthospira. That's right. It's an arthospira, which is a kind of cyanobacteria. Yes. All right. That is it. Oh my gosh. That was awesome. She's clapping. Thank you, Pierre. Yes, y'all. So listen, if you are interested in any of the services that we are providing and you just have questions, please, you guys can just send us an email, right? At bewell@chefbee.com. All right, please just send us an email. We know that we spoke a lot about different things that we do, but we definitely want to make sure that we're supporting you where you are. And so if you have any questions about any of the services, just send an email and I'll get back to you. But I really want y'all in this palette reset. The palette reset is so dope. We had such a good time. And it's all new recipes, all new everything for the fall. And I want you all to experience that together because it's so beautiful. We're very intentional about these cleanses too. We start them around the changing of the season, as we said, but then also the moon, right? So it's around the full moon. So if you know anything about full moon work, this is a really good time when you can release and you can set intentions and you can just do all sorts of really good stuff, spiritual work around your lifestyle medicine that you want to bring in, right? And so we're being really intentional about that process so that you just have a wonderful, wonderful experience. So if you have any questions, y'all, let me know. We are at 8:18. Thank you so much for joining this 3-day masterclass. If you have not registered, y'all, actually, Shay, if you can just give them the link one more time, I'm going to give them the link here. I am taking these videos down. We're going to take them down. Today is Thursday. They'll probably be down by like tomorrow. So if you want to get the replay, if you want to get the list of the superfoods and some just resources on that, the recipe that we went over, just anything connected to this masterclass, I want you all to go to this link. I'm about to send it to you. Go to the link and just register. If you've already registered, excellent. We will send the replays out to you. And then we will also send you guys all of the notes that we want you guys to have for this particular masterclass. And the other thing I would love to hear from you is, what other things do you want to learn about? What other things would you like to know about? Please send me a message, and I would love to share some new information with you about some of the things that you are thinking about. Yes, thank you, Melanated Wanderlust. Thank you so much for joining us. Please, if you have some feedback, if you want to share with me some feedback, please, I would love to get that from you as well, because I'm always working to improve in this area and grow in this area. So please, I would love to hear from you. You can send me a message, an email on how you think I did, and what kinds of things would you like to hear from me and get from me as it relates to these master classes, because that's ultimately what it's about. It's about, giving you guys good content that's relevant to your life to help you to thrive in your life, right? So I would love to hear from you. All right, beautifuls, you guys have an amazing night. And thank you so much for, again, those people who won, send me an email so that I can get your content to you, or get whatever I promised you to you. All right. And we will talk again super soon. Thanks again. Thanks again. Thanks again. Have an amazing night and amazing rest of your week. Peace and love.